Some homes do not have security systems. They are security systems. Every wall, every window, every inch of ground, engineered not just to look impressive, but to make breaking in almost impossible. We are not talking about a Ring doorbell and a deadbolt. We are talking about blast-resistant glass that can stop a vehicle moving at 60 miles per hour, underground bunkers stocked for months, private command centers staffed around the clock by former intelligence operatives, perimeter systems so advanced they can detect a footstep 200 meters away before a single camera even turns. The ultra-wealthy do not just buy homes. They buy environments designed to outlast, outthink, and outmaneuver any threat imaginable. And here is the part that makes this genuinely fascinating. From the outside, these properties look stunning. Manicured lawns, glass facades, art hanging in open corridors. Nothing that screams fortress, nothing that signals danger. That is entirely by design. The global residential security market is valued at roughly $70 billion annually, and the ultra-high net worth segment is the fastest growing slice of that number. The wealthiest people on Earth have quietly built a parallel world of protection that most of us never see, never read about, and never fully understand. Until now. In the next few minutes, we are going inside that world. The safe rooms built to withstand explosions, the perimeter systems that never sleep, the armored glass indistinguishable from standard windows, the anti-drone technology quietly humming above rooftops, and the invisible staff protocols that are often the most powerful security layer of all. Stay with us, because by the end of this, you will never look at a billionaire's home the same way again. Let us start with what you actually see when you approach one of these properties. A long driveway, mature trees, hedgerows trimmed to perfection, maybe a gate, maybe a guardhouse that looks more like an architectural feature than a checkpoint. What you do not see is the real story. Beneath that driveway, seismic sensors are reportedly embedded in the concrete, capable of detecting the vibration pattern of a vehicle versus a person versus an animal. The difference matters, and the system knows it. The trees are not just landscaping. In many high-end estates, mature tree lines are deliberately positioned to block sight lines from public roads, defeating long-range photography and surveillance from the street without a single visible barrier. Some estimates suggest that landscape design alone accounts for between 15 and 25% of the total residential security budget on ultra-luxury properties. The fencing, if there is any, is often composite, combining anti-climb textures, embedded fiber optic cables that register any contact, and a visual profile that reads as decorative rather than defensive. Nothing says "stay out" loudly. Everything says it quietly. The gate itself at a property of this tier is rarely what it appears to be. Bollards disguised as stone planters can rise hydraulically in under 3 seconds, enough to stop a vehicle moving at full speed. Anti-ram barriers are rated in engineering terms by how many tons they can stop at what velocity. Picture this: a delivery truck approaches a Bel Air estate. To the driver, it is a beautiful entrance. To the system, it is a data point. License plate recognition has already cross-referenced the vehicle against a pre-approved registry before it travels 50 feet. If it is not on the list, the gate does not open. And the security team already knows. This is not reaction, this is anticipation. License plate recognition systems used at Tier 1 residential properties can reportedly process and cross-reference a plate in under 1.5 seconds. We have not even gotten inside the house yet, and already the layers are stacking. To understand why residential security has reached this level, you have to understand where it came from. For most of the 20th century, home security meant a lock on the door and a dog in the yard. Even for the wealthy, the threat model was simple: burglary, opportunistic crime, someone who wanted your valuables and wanted to get out fast. Then things shifted. The kidnap and ransom industry expanded globally through the 70s and 80s. Wealthy families in Latin America, Europe, and the Middle East became primary targets, not for their televisions, for themselves. The kidnap and ransom insurance market, which barely existed before 1970, is now believed to generate over $300 million in annual premiums globally. Corporate executives began hiring the same protective details that governments used for diplomats. Former Secret Service agents, SAS veterans, and intelligence officers found a new private market, and they brought government-grade thinking to private residential design. The concept of layered defense, which military strategists call defense in depth, migrated from military doctrine into a state architecture. The idea is simple but powerful. No single barrier stops a determined threat, but 5 barriers, each one buying time, each one feeding information back to a central point, can stop almost anything. By the 1990s, the wealthiest estates in Beverly Hills, London, and the Swiss countryside were being quietly retrofitted, walls thickened, glass replaced, panic rooms installed behind bookshelves and inside master closets. Then September 2001 changed the calculus again. Suddenly, the threat model expanded beyond crime into something that felt more existential, and the budgets followed. Safe rooms became safe suites. Communication systems became redundant networks. Helicopter pads appeared on properties not because of lifestyle, but because of evacuation planning. What we have today is the result of 50 years of compounding threat awareness, compounding technology, and compounding wealth. The homes being built now for the ultra-rich are not improvised. They are engineered from the foundation up, with protection as the primary design constraint and beauty as the camouflage. So what does modern residential security actually look like when the budget has no ceiling? Let us go layer by layer. Start with the glass. Standard windows are the most obvious vulnerability in any structure. They shatter, they fail. At properties operating at this level, glass is one of the most expensive single-line items in the build. Blast-resistant laminated glass, sometimes called forced entry, and ballistic-resistant glazing is constructed from multiple bonded layers. Some configurations can reportedly withstand a direct hit from a high-powered rifle round. Others are rated to absorb explosive overpressure from a detonation at close range. Ballistic-grade glass can cost anywhere from $800 to over $2,000 per square foot, meaning a single large window in a luxury home can represent a six-figure investment on its own. And it looks identical to standard glass. That is the point. Now the safe room, or as it is increasingly called in the industry, the safe core. Early panic rooms were small, reinforced closets with a phone line and a few hours of food. Today's versions are different in almost every way. A Tier 1 safe core in a property built for a billionaire-level principal is typically a self-contained suite, bedroom, bathroom, communications center, independent air supply with filtration against chemical and biological agents, independent power with enough reserve for 72 hours or longer, a direct encrypted line to a private security operations center, and, in some cases, a direct line to local law enforcement with a dedicated response protocol. The walls are reinforced concrete or ballistic steel panels concealed behind standard interior finishes. The door, which may look like a wine cellar entrance or a section of bookshelf, is a vault door rated to resist sustained forced entry for a defined period. Some estates reportedly include a secondary escape route from the safe core, a tunnel or concealed stairwell leading to a separate structure or a vehicle-ready exit point below grade. High-end safe room installations at the luxury tier are believed to start at around $500,000 and can exceed $3 million for fully equipped architecturally integrated versions. Then there is the command center. The command center is where the nervous system of the property lives. In estates operating at the highest tier, this is not a monitor bolted to a wall in a utility closet. It is a purpose-built room, sometimes staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with trained security personnel monitoring feeds from dozens or hundreds of cameras, sensor networks, and communication channels simultaneously. The technology stack is significant. Thermal imaging cameras cover areas where standard cameras struggle at night. Acoustic sensors can reportedly distinguish a breaking window from ambient noise at considerable distance. AI-assisted video analytics flag behavior patterns rather than just motion, reducing false alarms and increasing the speed of genuine threat identification. A full property camera and sensor network at the ultra-luxury residential level can involve over 100 individual devices, all feeding into a single integrated monitoring platform. Above the property, the threat model has also expanded upward. Drone technology has created a new vulnerability that did not meaningfully exist 15 years ago. An inexpensive commercial drone can carry a camera above a property's walls, defeating every ground-level perimeter investment in seconds. The response has been rapid. Anti-drone systems at the residential level now range from radio frequency detection, which identifies a drone's communication signal and tracks its origin point, to directional jamming systems that can reportedly force a drone to land or return to its operator. Some installations are believed to include drone capture technology, physical or electromagnetic, that neutralizes the vehicle without destroying it, preserving evidence. These systems operate quietly, invisibly. The property looks the same from above as any other, but something is listening. Now for the layer that is arguably more powerful than any technology: The people. Staff security protocols at elite estates are often the most carefully designed element of the entire system and the least discussed. Every employee with access to the property, from housekeepers to groundskeepers to private chefs, typically undergoes a background investigation that goes significantly deeper than a standard employer check. In many cases, staff are briefed on communication protocols, what to say if contacted by an unknown party asking questions about the principal, what to do if they observe something irregular, what not to share and with whom. The human layer is also the most vulnerable. Social engineering, manipulating a staff member through conversation or false pretense, is reportedly among the most common approaches used in attempts to gather intelligence on a secured property. The best security teams train for this directly. Here is what makes all of this genuinely remarkable. The most effective version of this kind of security is the version you never notice. Not the gate that looks like a fortress, not the guards in tactical gear, not the cameras mounted on every corner. The version that looks like a beautiful home, that is the real achievement. The convergence of architecture, technology, human intelligence, and behavioral design into something that functions as a total security environment while presenting as nothing more than exceptional taste. According to some industry professionals, the most common failure point in residential security at any level is not technology, it is routine. The moment a pattern becomes predictable, it becomes exploitable. That is why the highest tier of protection is not static, it adapts. Staff rotations change, entry protocols shift, vehicle routes vary. The system is designed to look consistent while constantly evolving beneath the surface. And here's the question worth sitting with. We live in a world where a small number of individuals have accumulated wealth so significant that they require what amounts to a private military doctrine just to live at home. Is that a testament to human ingenuity and the lengths we will go to protect what we value? Or is it a reflection of something more uncomfortable, that at a certain level of wealth, the world becomes a place that feels genuinely dangerous to inhabit without extraordinary measures? Maybe it is both. What is undeniable is that the industry surrounding it, the architects, the security engineers, the former intelligence operatives, the glass manufacturers, the AI developers, is growing rapidly, and the homes being built today make the secured estates of 20 years ago look by comparison almost unprotected. The next time you see an image of a billionaire's property and think it looks like a palace, you are right. It is also a fortress. You just cannot tell. And that, more than any single technology or system, is the point. If you found this as fascinating as we did, there is more where this came from. The channel goes deep on the world the ultra-wealthy have quietly built around themselves. Subscribe, and we will keep pulling back the curtain.